In today's video, preposterous profits for the oil companies, and what's the government doing about it? Hi and welcome back to Dad's channel. It's great to see you. I hope you've been keeping well, better than me. I've had COVID, so there's been zero output really. I'm sorry about that. But I hope it's given you time to catch up on the rest of the content on the channel and hopefully subscribe and encourage your friends to come along as well. Watch the videos, comment and subscribe as well. That would be great. So what are we going to talk about today? Those preposterous profits that have just been posted by, well, 3 energy companies at least. Oil companies, Exxon, BP and Shell, and what the government are doing about it. Let's take a look. Oil companies and energy companies seem to be making huge profits, whilst the people of this country seem to be paying higher and higher prices, because apparently, mostly due, well, everything seems to be due to the Ukraine-Russian war these days. I mean, somebody falls over and it's, in Huddersfield, and it's down to the Ukraine-Russian war. We seem to be continually, we've got so much money in this country, we gave £1 billion worth of assistance last year, and we're going to be £1 billion worth this year. I don't know where the money's coming from, but they can't help you and they can't help me. Interestingly, whilst we're getting strike after strike from NHS, teachers, rail workers, etc., postal workers, and anybody else, if I've forgotten you, I'm supporting you. At the same time, the Railways Minister admitted just a few weeks ago that the government had wasted more money than it would actually take to financially solve the railway strike. If that isn't preposterous, I don't know what is. Anyway, this is getting off track. So let's just go back to those energy companies. BP, £20-odd million profit, billion. Exxon, I can't remember. Shell, about 40 billion or some such. They're all producing double profits. How does this all work? Well, my understanding, surely the government are there to help the people. That's what we put them there for, to help us, to protect us, to do the right thing. Now, yes, they do indeed tax these profits that these companies are producing. But why haven't they introduced, say, a sliding scale? Say, if they start off at 10% profit on a tax on a certain amount of profit, why haven't they said, well, if your profit increases by a certain amount on a sliding scale, it will increase to such and such? That seems a pretty good idea to me, but the government don't want to do that. They seem to want to protect them and just not shoulder any blow, just throw it all at us, really. I just find that strange. And then is it strange? We've got British Gas, who are indirectly have been breaking into people's houses and putting in prepayment meters. I just find that very 1984. You will do as you're told. Now, yes, they have been stopped, but prepayment meters are much more expensive than your ordinary pay by direct debit bills and meters. So why have they been doing that? They seem to want to take control. Again, the government saying, oh, there's lots of help out there for you. Well, the help apparently appears to be somebody smashing a window in your house and doing something that you don't want them to do in your house. Strange days. And then we've got COP27, where the government, this government, and many European governments were trying to avoid paying money into the fund that is to help out the countries that are suffering most from the modern and most industrialized companies' efforts to kill the planet, basically. Let's not mess around. We already know, the scientists have told us that we're going to miss the 1.5 degree figure, and we're already heading for 2.1 under the current rate of effort being made by governments around the world. We already know that this government has agreed to open a coal mine. Of course, they didn't actually give the go-ahead because they held the presidency of COP27, but once they passed that on, they gave it the green light. So, yeah, okay, so what's that about? So they've given a comment. They've recently been warming up coal-fired power stations to assist with energy production. Well, perhaps, as I suggested in a different video, they should have been building nuclear power stations to avoid this kind of thing. Modern nuclear power stations burn energy a lot more efficiently than the older type nuclear power stations. There'll be less waste to worry about. We can't quite rely on green energy just yet. Let's go back to British Petroleum. Now, they set this kind of peculiar goal for net zero by 2050. Now, I don't know what net zero in BP terms means. Does that mean they're moving completely away from oil and just moving on to production of energy from green sources? I'm not really sure, and they don't seem very sure either, because they also set a goal for the end of this particular decade that we're in, that they would have reduced their carbon footprint by around 40%, but they've now revised that down to 20 to 30%. Again, that just seems very strange. The government don't seem overly keen to keep to goals and targets. Private companies don't seem to be over keen to keep the goals and targets. None of them, private companies seem to want to make endless profits out of making people poorer. The government want these companies to make better profits and keep people poorer whilst not helping them and not coming to the table to solve a lot of the strike issues that are going on. Anyway, food for thought. Please comment below. I would love to hear from you what your thoughts are on this peculiar energy situation, where we're continually told that we're energy poor, whilst energy companies need to be money rich. Anyway, please like, please comment, and do subscribe, and I will see you on the next video.